Okay, I have done this video before, but I really wanted to do it again for the Lord of Patriarchy channel. This is Workers' World Party and the struggle against gentrification.
Good morning, comrades, brothers and sisters. Before I make my remarks, I want to thank everyone who came out with me to Charlottesville, Virginia last summer. It was the most pleasurable experience of my life to be a communist in the middle of that struggle.
Great. Okay.
I like to say that from Brooklyn to Baltimore, gentrification is genocide. It's genocide.
Gentrification is genocide, man! Come on!
And I'm proud to...
Okay, how? How is it genocide? How are people buying buildings that are for sale and then turning them around and making the neighborhood nice again? How is that genocide? Simple question. How is that, again, when you rent, that's one of the risks that you take on is that you don't have a lot of rights if the owner of the building sells his property. You have the right to, I believe, a 90-day notice, but that's about it. Maybe, you should have done this thing called embrace capitalism and, bought a home. I know owning property is like a sin in socialism, but trust me, it's a much better thing.
Workers World Party and denounce gentrification for what it is. Racist genocide.
Racist genocide, except when it happens to white people. How many white people every day get evicted from their apartments because the apartment building is going to be torn down to build something else? Again, their landlord decided to get out of the business or sell it. This is legal. This is what happens if you rent. That's why it's much better to buy a house. You got to be a little more responsible, but that's why. I know responsibility is another toxic word to you socialists. But what the fuck is the problem? People are buying buildings that are for sale. They are not walking into apartment buildings and going, everyone get out. They're not coming in and conquering the apartment buildings. These apartment buildings were legally purchased. What the fuck do you want?
Like in Brooklyn, I say, take it back before it's gone. Because
Take
they're
what
trying to
back?
gentrify sections of Baltimore City where black and Latino people once lived. They have that.
And what, now white people are living there, so you're a twinge racist?
Absolute gall to have a $2,400 apartment complex. The rent is $2,400 in the middle of the black community by Johns Hopkins. What a shame.
So what? They legally bought the land. They legally built the building. They can legally charge whatever they want. Also, are you saying that all black people, are incapable of affording $2,400 a month? Now, yes, some black people are incapable of affording that. Some white people are too. Some black people are capable of affording that. Some white people are too. What's the problem? If you can't afford it, don't live there. But don't throw a hissy fit because of it.
What a disaster for poor working people in this city. There should be no rent in America.
No rent in America. No rent, God damn it. There's no rent, God damn it. What? So why would anyone build an apartment building, a condominium complex, houses, anything? Why are we not, if the goal was that it's a crime to charge rent or interest on a mortgage or what the fuck, if there was no way to make a profit on it, Why are we not all living in grass huts? Oh, wait. It's because there was a profit motive that led to houses being built, and then those houses and those building techniques getting better and better over time. Yeah. I love it. This is why I fucking love socialists. Because their dream world works, except when it has to clash with this little thing known as reality. Who in the fuck would build and maintain a fucking apartment complex with, let's say, 50 tenants if they were getting no money for it? Who the fuck would do that?
No rents. Rent is a crime. It's a capitalist crime. All over the country.
Rent's a crime, man. It is a capitalist crime. Yeah, despite the fact that capitalism has made all the clothes on my back, despite the capitalism has made the microphone that I'm speaking into now, despite the fact that my capitalism has made these dreads easier to get, despite the fact that capitalism has given me the ability to get this stupid fucking message out, despite the fact that capitalism has built the best world humanity has ever had, despite the fact that capitalism is the single greatest force to end poverty, end world hunger, and end fucking war. We are closer to living in peace today, thanks to capitalism, than ever before. So go blow your socialist stash bullshit right out of your fucking mouth.
All
Fuck.
over the world. I'm gonna say all over the world. People hear about rents being paid in America, and they laugh at us.
Where? Where? The Congo, where they don't have any functioning society? Where? Kuwait? Okay, Kuwait. Let's take that. Yes, you get a free apartment in Kuwait, except for one problem. Kuwait is one day going to utterly collapse and be a fourth world country because they have a single export. They have no other infrastructure, no other textiles they produce. Their whole thing is oil. And when the world moves on from oil, one way or the other, it's going to happen. What's Kuwait going to do? It's going to collapse. Now, we could talk about Sweden. Well, Sweden, yes, did have a lot of socialist policies, except it started to go bankrupt under the weight of them, and then they started switching to more right-wing capitalistic policies. Now, yes, they're still far more socialist than America, and consequently, they pay twice as much for shit and 3 times as much for cars. Also, they pay higher taxes. But here's the other thing: Sweden doesn't have something in its budget called a military.
Because in Cuba and North Korea, a house is a
Oh,
right.
oh, Cuba and North Korea, houses are right. But you know what? You don't have the right to do. You don't have the. You would not have the right to hold this rally in Cuba and North Korea. Are you seriously going to sit there and tell me that you are freer in North Korea and Cuba than you are here in America? A country where not only can you say smash everything that we stand for, not only can you make money off of that, but and not only it's protected. Not only will nobody stop you, we're forbidden from stopping you. But yeah, you're freer in North Korea.
Housing is a human right. Why should
Yeah, you're right. Housing's a human right in North Korea. You know, it's also a right in North Korea to be sent to a generational prison.
anybody have to fear being homeless? I was home for 2 years, but yet I climbed out and got my Social Security, and I'm back now. But nobody should face the trauma of homelessness.
Okay, you didn't have a friend that you could stay with, family. If that's not available, they didn't, when they evicted you, they didn't just throw you out. They are required to give you a notice. There are also more than one government agencies that could have gotten you into a shelter of some sort. Okay? I don't think you're telling us the whole story. I really don't think this is the whole story, that due to your apartment building being bought, you being evicted because they wanted to tear it down and build something new, that you were then automatically homeless. There's a piece of this story, and I'm willing to bet $50 that there's a piece to this story you're not telling.
Not knowing
Because there's several government agencies that could have helped you find a home.
where you're going to lay your head that night.
Also, this is America. There are several homeless shelters, and most churches offer sanctuary.
Your apartment
If it was up to me, all churches would be open to the homeless if they wanted to keep their fucking tax-free status.
gets evicted. Nobody should have to face that. That is
You didn't have to. Again, I'm curious. Were you a drunk at the time? Were you not paying your bills at the time? Drugs? Gambling? There's something, I'm willing to wager, there's something about this story you're not telling us.
a capital crime and a human rights violation above all.
It's a capital crime, so landlords should be put to death. Well, that's at least consistent with the Russian Revolution.
And lastly, I'm going to say before I go here, because I understand I got 3 minutes. We need to take the lead in the fight for housing and demand that housing is a human right.
Again, why would anyone build houses then? Why would anyone maintain them? If you're not going to pay a mortgage, why would a bank give a loan to somebody to buy a house? Again, oh, what? The government should pay for the housing? Oh, great. Then we're all living in the same shithole house. This is what I've said several times. This is why, and this proves it. All socialism does is make everyone poorer, stupider, and generally worse off. The only ones it helps are fucking lazy people. You know, this guy thinks that everyone should be living in a shoebox, but at least we all have a roof over our head. Well, I don't agree with that. And I guarantee you, even in your socialist utopia where everyone gets a free house, there's still going to be homeless people. For one reason or another, there'll be homeless people. You're never going to eradicate that. But I'm willing to wager in your case, Mr. Dreadlock Man, that I'm willing to bet there's a part of that story you're not telling us. Why do I get the sneaking feeling that there's another part of why you were homeless for a couple of years and why you're no longer homeless? What, did a cheap apartment just happen to get available that you couldn't find? I'm sorry, something about your story is not adding up. And if I had to guess, at the time of your eviction and homelessness, you were making incredibly shitty, stupid life choices. You decided to clean yourself up, and now you're being a functioning member of society again. Good for you. I'm happy you kicked your habit, got your life together. But I'm willing to wager there's parts of the story you're not telling me. All right, that's it for today.